Hey there. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at a power chord progression from Troy Stetina's Metal Rhythm Guitar Volume 1 book. And that's Stetina, Troy Stetina. And maybe people say Stetina, but I guess it's actually Stetina. I call it Stetina. Called him Stetina for a while too. But I would highly recommend going to Amazon and picking this up because I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of these. I'm doing some of the exercises in here, and we're going to be doing exercise 12 from this book. And don't worry if you don't have the book right now, you'll be able to follow along because I'm going to go through it step by step. But again, you're going to want to pick that book up because it's going to have the music written out for you. You'll be able to read the rhythmic notation, and then plus there'll be some extra stuff that he writes in there. And he has a full series of rhythm guitar, lead guitar, more advanced techniques, where you do full out shred. There's some thrash guitar stuff. It goes from the very beginning, like what we're going to do here, all the way up to the pro level stuff where you're shredding all over the neck. So I highly recommend picking this book up. And if you want to pick up, the lead series or something, that's cool too. Grab that and delve into that. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to first go ahead and do a quick little demonstration, a clip of what we're going to do. And then I'm going to go in and we're going to actually dig in and really work on it. And at the end, I'm going to play all the way through it with some drums and bass. I'm not going to hear the bass through the video, but I'm going to play along with that. And you can use that and play along with that as sort of like a backing track. And yeah, so grab your guitar and let's get at it. Okay, so here we go with the first progression. Now, this is going to be relatively easy for anybody that has already played power chords already, and you can move them around. But for any of you that have never played power chords, you're brand new, this might be a struggle because as we move our fingers down here, you're going to have to stretch your fingers out and stuff, and it's going to be a bit hard. But keep working at it. You will get it. It just takes a matter of time. You might be really stretching to get that finger over there. The key to it is getting this finger, make sure it's right next to that fret wire, right before it. Don't play over here and try to stretch it out. Matter of fact, you can get it muted if you play in that part of the fret. Always go in the fret closest to your guitar body, right before the fret, not on top of it, right before it. So that's as far over as you can get, and then this finger will be able to reach over further. And later on, you'll be able to, stretch them out really well. But in the beginning, it's kind of hard. So because of that reason, in the very beginning, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to play a power chord further up the neck because the frets are closer together. And we're going to go over here to our 9th fret. We have all these single dots and the double. This very last fret right here that has just one single dot on it, we're going to use that because it's going to be easier for you to form a power chord there. Now, we're going to put our finger on whatever root it is. Like say it was an A, you would have to find E, E, F, G, A. You put your finger there, and then we'd follow the process for forming the power chord there. If it was a C, it'd be E, F, G, A, B, C. And then you put that, and then we'd follow the process I'm going to show you in a second to make a full power chord. But the point is, this note right here, which your pointer, your index finger is on, that is what names your chord. In this case, it's C sharp, but I'm picking this one right here because it's the last single dot before the 2. So if you don't know what your notes are yet, which I highly suggest you learn. But just look at this dot right here, the last single dot before the double dots. So you put your finger there on the root. Then what you do is you go over 2 frets on the E string, 1, 2, and then bring your finger down to the string below. And again, just so you see with one finger, we have it right here. We're going to go over 1, 2 frets and down to the string below that. But of course we can't do both of these with the pointer finger. So there's our pointer, 1, 2, down to the string below that. And when you play it, make sure you're hitting both of these, just these two. You're not hitting all the strings, just those two. And do them at the same time. And it's a good idea to do a little bit of single, then together. So, and a common thing is for someone to do this. Hear how something sounds weird? That's because you're not putting enough pressure with your ring finger. Or you can do the same thing, put more pressure on here, and that doesn't sound right. If it doesn't sound right, make sure you're putting pressure on both of those fingers really well. Equal pressure. So that's what you want to do. You want to get that sounding good. Now, you're going to end up leaning your fingers over, and that's good. It's actually preferred, because what happens is if you lean them over, it mutes out some of these strings. So if by accident, I was hitting other strings, could you tell? No, because these other strings were muted, and then it actually does make this noise, but the sound of the actual power chord drowns it out. However, try to focus on targeting just these 2 strings. But just know that's kind of a little safety net that'll kind of help you. Now what you can do with these is, just move them around, maybe move them up at first. Just kind of getting used to that, but then try going a little bit lower. Then maybe try a little lower. Maybe start right here. And just kind of keep working your way down as an exercise to stretch those fingers out. And eventually you're going to get to where, you're going to be able to play these chords way down here perfectly fine. So, now you can also attempt this progression also as you're going along, but again, when you get down to some of these chords, it might struggle a little bit. So do that exercise also as you're trying to work on this. So let's look at the actual progression. All it does is starts here at the 5th fret, which is an A. And then what we do is we got to then jump way down to the first one. So right off the bat, we're starting on the hardest chord right here. And the second chord is the hardest chord because that's the most stretch. We're going to play that chord, and then we're going to be playing this chord. So it's these 3 chords. So again, you can practice that, trying to go down from there. What we're going to do is we're going to start out here, which is again an A at the 5th fret, and this is going to be held for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to go down to the 1st fret, and this is an F, and you're going to go. This is a whole note 2, so a whole note gets 4 beats. So we play the whole note here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to play a whole note here on the F. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to go up to here, which is a G. This is the 3rd fret. And this is going to be 2 half notes. So if a whole note is worth 4 beats, a half note would be worth what? 2 beats. 2 and 2 equals 4. Half and a half equals a whole. So here on the G, You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you go back to your A right here, 5th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it goes A, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, G. Now here's something. If you do it that way, because it's a good idea to say A, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, because that helps you with memorizing where the notes are right off the bat, instead of just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, say the chord. A, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4. But then what are you going to do here? It's going to be confusing. G, 2, G, 4, because you're splitting it up because they're half notes. So a way around that is, instead of saying numbers, you play the chord, which would be 1. Then you say note, and you're going to hold it through there. So you go G, note. Note is beat 2. And then you're going to play beat 3. You say note again, and note is beat 4. So it's G, note, G, note. So I'm just saying note in between. That gives me the space that I need. So I'm saying note instead of 2 and note instead of 4. And then for the 1 and 3, I'm just saying the chords. So it's G, note, G, note, and then back to A. A, 2, 3, 4. Let me go through that for you. A, 2, 3, 4. F, 2, 3, 4. G, note, G, note. A, 2, 3, 4. A, 2, 3, 4. F, 2, 3, 4. G, note, G, note. A, 2, 3, 4. And really, that's about it. That's your progression. Now what you want to do is you can get a drum beat, off of YouTube and try to play along with that. Or I also play along like 4 times. I go through that 4 times along with the backing track. It may not sound the greatest, but it gives you something if you want to jam to. Right? I'm going to do that next. In the meantime, if you're not able to do that, you go ahead and just practice those power chords, starting way up here where the frets are closer together, and just play around up there, trying to get that stretch. Your fingers are stretched further and further, and just keep working on it, and it will come. I promise you. If you work on this, your fingers will stretch out. So just keep working on it, and yeah, go ahead and when you're ready, jam with the progression. I'm going to play it in a second. And if you have any questions, let me know. And there you go. So if you have any questions or anything, let me know. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one.